Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hmm. I'm here for another stream of how to make an MMO in the spare time. I think I will make a video maybe with a kind of a summary of how to make an MMO in the spare time. I mean, yeah. You need a bit of magic. Pom-porum, pom-porum, pom-porum. Okay, so what I want to do, let me just see if I can fix a bit of the tracking, head tracking, boom, boom. Yeah, I think it's slightly better. My head is bouncing a bit, but it's okay. So we want to continue the work of yesterday on the compendium, right? I think we did a good job yesterday. We had a stream of about 8 hours where we really worked deep into the database and C++ classes and all of that. So let's recap where we were. So we defined the overall layout of the different screens that we want to have for the compendium. We defined the data model. The data model is this one, and has been ported to the database already because I have in the database some information about that. And so we created the different classes, the different tables. Then we started to design the C++ classes. This also has been done. We have under PS Codex, these classes, which at the moment are pretty empty. They don't have they don't have operations, but they have all the data model that we can actually load at startup. Then we implemented the storing and preloading. That is also done. So actually inside Cache Manager, I have some of the function that will allow me to load the codex stuff, right? Yes, so for each owner I get his discovery manager, and for the code, okay, so, and this is good, and this is good. Now what we should do next, define the, so this one we did. Now define the Excel file to enter data. This also I did, and I have an Excel file which at the moment is shared only with Tua, but I think more people can contribute, where basically we have defined for each of the races, the stuff. Do we have something that we can copy from the main site about that? Just to have some data. I think we need to split it a bit differently, because here we have like social structure and organization, religion, nutrition. Nutrition I think is like ecology, right? But just to have some text, just to have some text, I can just put it in like this, just to have something that we can test with. Okay. Let me just do this 1 second, which is probably not the best way. So I will put it in red just to say that, just to show that it is like simple text, but I think for the history we need a kind of a, I mean, for all of this we need a kind of a remake. I mean, we cannot really use what we have on the website, so but so I think we can do something like this. Let me just try to add this text and see what happens, okay? Now the problem is that the icon, we said that the icon is mandatory. So we need to understand what to do with the icon. I think I need to have 3 or 4 specific icons that are coming from the... Three or four specific icons that are coming from from the project. Wait. I'm not in the right place. Unreal Script Editor. Okay, so I think we need 3 or 4 icons, which are like one for habitat, one for ecology, one for history, right? These icons we are missing at the moment. Hello, Tony. Welcome. How are you today? I'm opening the editor because I want to see if in the icon data table, we have something that we can reuse, or if I have to insert new entries. Most likely I will have to insert new entries here, but it's fine. We can create 4 new entries. Actually, it's more than 4 because we need what? We need habitat, ecology, combat, spoils, history, and then this is for creatures. Then we will need different ones for plants and different one for by the way, why this one why this one doesn't show up as doesn't show up in the list as new? It's kind of weird. No. So I think in the data tables, we have a data table dedicated to icons, and it's actually called item icons, but maybe we can use it or not. Let me think about it. Yeah, because the UI by default will not know which kind of icon to use, right? So we need I think this kind of UI, DT UI icons, I think maybe we can create a new data table. I think will be identical to this one, because anyway, most likely will be an atlas, and most likely we'll be taking, yeah, I think we should, yes, I think we should duplicate this thing, and I will call it DT UI icons. Am I duplicating something that I already have? I don't think so, because all our icons are so these are only the dynamic icons, right? These are only the dynamic icons. Holy shit, I cannot select them all. No. Okay. But I think what we can do, we can then I can duplicate this one. Wait. I can duplicate this one and call it UI icons, and I can add it to SVN as well. And I can open it. Yes. And we can just clean up all this mess because that is for the other file. And this file will be a new file with raw description exactly. So for now, I don't have those icons available. So we definitely need someone to design icons, but let's say that we need to see under textures icons. I can, for now, I can take anything of this, you know. I can take any item or anything that can represent I don't know which one can be. So we need to represent habitat, ecology, combat, spoils, and history. I can put maybe a comment here: habitat, ecology, combat, spoils, and history. Then we have for the plants. For the plants, I still don't understand. I think that two categories are enough for the plants. Plants and minerals, yes. Those mixed clicks, boys. So plants, we have habitat and properties. Habitat and properties. So habitat we have already, so I think I can add properties. And for the minerals, we have what? For the minerals, we have description, usage and value, and known locations. Whenever you discover a new mine, a new entry is added to the codex. Oh my god. Okay, that was a nice idea, but kind of tough, but okay. This one we didn't consider, huh? Pain. With this one we didn't consider the known location. So we add it as a text, or we add, okay, we will do it later on, but this means that we need to change probably some in the database structure, but I can do it later. I can expand it later. If I try to do everything at the beginning, you know, we will never see something working. So description, usage and value, and known locations. I mean, why we don't have a description for plants? I mean, in theory, we should have a description for everything, right? I mean, if you have to describe how the flower is, or maybe you put it inside habitat, but I think we should have a description. I think for the creatures, we don't have the description. The reason is that there is already so much. There are already 4 areas, so it's basically describing a lot of how they... So I think a description will be good, which is just a description of how it looks. Even if we have the picture, right? But so the description is basically the picture, but maybe, you know, the picture is not very good, and maybe there is, I don't know, glows at night, right? Maybe if it glows at night, you will not see it from the picture. I think it's good that it is in the description. So yeah, I think the description is since for flowers we only have 2, I think we can make it 3, and we can add a description, which is basically how it looks, right? And I think we can probably do the same. I mean, again, not for the creatures, because or yes, I don't know. The point is that for the creature we already have a lot. So if I add another one, so we have a description in minerals, but for creatures we already have habitat, ecology, combat, spoil. So we have so much already. I think also a description, but I think a description makes sense though. Should we add it or put it in there? Or we put habitat and ecology together. I don't know. Someone should think about it. I don't know if I want to do it myself, but someone should think if we need a separate description. But it kind of makes sense, you know, to have a kind of makes sense to have a description. Unfortunately, it makes sense. This means that we will have an additional category though. Fuck. I mean, we can have it, but... And this one will be applicable to both creatures and player races. Yeah, but I think... and maybe some of them will be unlocked together. I don't know if it's too much though. I don't know if it's too much. Basically for creatures you have, like for example, combat. Combat. Or we put together habitat and ecology. Because ecology at the end is what he eats and how he reproduces, and I mean, for certain creature will be so small, right? Habitat is basically where he lives, and if you prefer the day or the night, well, maybe the day or the night is the ecology, but the habitat is if he prefers, I don't know, living next to a river or whatever. I don't know. I feel that adding another description is a bit too much, but it's too many chapters, you know. It's too many, but okay. So let's say that we add a description, and we will see if we need it. So description, properties. So we are description, habitat, and properties. Okay. So we have that for minerals. Then for people and locations is not a problem because we don't need. For faction and organization, we have the icons defined. That's a good question. Where do we have the icons defined for the factions? I think we have it based on ID. is inside, maybe it's inside the database. No, it's not in the database. Is not in the database. And then we have an icons factions here. Atlas faction name. Probably we are simply going by name, and there is something that I hard coded into this, which is just using faction name. Yes, it's going by name. No, it's going by faction ID. Okay. It's going by faction ID. Because actually, no, we have it. We have the faction ID. Yeah, we can do it. We can do it in the same way. So for faction, I don't need to add anything else. I don't need to. So basically I need these icons defined, okay? So I need one to represent habitat. Good luck. I don't think we have an icon today. They can represent habitat in any way, but habitat is kind of a weird, I don't know, I can put a creature. But I have no idea what can represent. I mean, obviously none of these icons will fit at all. None of these icons will fit for habitat. I can put a bed. I can put the bed. Let's put the bed for now. So like where he sleeps, you know? And we will find another one then. So it's 7-0 in icons mesh. Is 7-0 in icons mesh. 7-0. So we need to put it like this and then do like 7-0. Okay. Then ecology. Ecology is more what they eat and how they reproduce, and we can just put as something that is food. Yeah, just a food item. I don't know, just the apple. The apple I think is nice enough. So icons food, yes. So we copy the reference because we need to put it here, and then we go 0-0, which is the first thing. Then we need combat. Well, combat is easy. We just take 2 swords or whatever, 2 weapons. So anything will work with. I think it's under icon items most likely. Icon weapons, yes. Let's take this one, which is nice. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, 7-0. 7-0 on weapons. So we take this, copy reference. Boom. 7-0. Then spoils. Spoils is basically the loot, right? So it's what you get when you kill it. Maybe we can have a small, like coins or something, or a chest. Maybe a chest. Maybe a chest. Do we have a chest anywhere? I mean, we must have chest. One of those. Yeah, let's take maybe one of those. This one I think is nice. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 1. Okay, 10, 1 of mesh. I think mesh we have it already. Is this one? No. 10, 1 of mesh. Okay, so we have the spoils. Then we have history. History can just be a book. Not these books. The other books. The other books are also under mesh. Where are all the books? We have like 6 or 7 books. Ah, there, yeah. Okay, so let's take like this first one. So is 0, 0, 1. So it's 0, 1 inside mesh again. 0, 1. Okay, so we have history. And then we have properties. Properties, or we make another book, or we make something like this, like a note, or a scroll like this. Let's do this one. I don't know, this one I think is okay. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 13, 5 under mesh. 13, 5 under mesh. And then we have description. Ah, fuck. Because properties and description is very similar. Properties, well, let's say the properties were more no, I think I prefer to have this one as description, and properties I think we can have like a recipe, or like let me see if I find maybe this potion, maybe a potion of some kind, maybe maybe a potion like this, which is properties is like, yeah, let's take a potion like this one for now, and then we will see the, I don't know, the green one, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it will be 11, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11, 5, 11, 5. Okay, so we have basically defined here all the property. Mesh is none. So we save it, keep current format, and then we re-import on DTUI icon. So we say re-import, and ah, fuck, I cannot change it. I want to change the source. I need to create a new one. I want to change the source file. I see. Yes, I can change it. Okay. Missing name, column 5 and column 6, but I don't think we care. Okay, it's good. So we re-imported. Okay, so now we have the icons. We have the icons loaded. And so when we will be sending the icons over, we can interpret that. So now the important point is that these icons will be from 1 to 7. From 1 to 7. So these ones are already correct. So yes, basically habitat is icon number 1, ecology is icon number 2, history is icon number 5. And description, yeah, now if you want to have a description, I think we also need to have a description in, which is icon number 7. I don't know if I really want to do this, but Again, with the description, I'm not fully convinced. Where is my browser? I'm already in the browser. Yeah, because the description will be like physical traits, right? I think it needs to be rewritten because the written like this is it's a bit shit, but anyway, and then we need to be sure that all of this is matching with the game. So there is a project within the project, boys, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I think will be a bit tough, but it's fine. It's fine. Dwarves live around 160 years. Wow. 160 years is a lot. Congratulations. So this one we said that is 7, right? So the description icon is 7. Okay. Then in this case, those will remain empty, and then I need to do my insert SQL. Okay, so if I try to execute this is just a kind of a dummy data, okay? But if I try to insert this data into our database, even if it's just dummy data, and I will insert into, yes, the test database for now. And I will go, what? Didn't really like my copy paste, but let's try one at a time. Okay, it worked. Because there is probably some escape stuff. Yes, most likely. Yes, there is this problem for sure. And then I don't know, there may be other issues. So we need to be sure that we are escaping. Yeah. We need to escape the special characters, otherwise it will not. Okay, it worked now. The next one also has a problem. This home style, I would say. No, there is another one. There is another one. This one. Okay. Nice. And the last one. Nice. Okay, so we entered these 4 dummy thingies into the database, and hopefully we can test them. So so let me try. Okay, so what we want to try? We want to try the preloading, or we want to try, yes, I think we want to try the preloading. I want to have my character to know 2 of these 4, right? So if I go under character discoveries, and if I go under codex codex nature, you see that the ID has been automatically generated. Item type use 1 because it's a creature. Reference ID. No, it's correct. It's 0 because the actually 0 is a valid value here. The Description, habitat, ecology, history is correct. And now the only problem will be the sequence. But I think we can read them in sequence. Yeah, but basically what I need to do, I need to say my character, so character discoveries. I have to say my character, which is 154. Knowledge type, compendium knowledge, decal, special ability. No. This one is not correct. Huh? This one needs to be. This one needs to be. We did it in the code. We did it in the code when we are preloading. When we are preloading the compendium. No, we did it in PS character when we are loading the discoveries. I think. Yes, exactly. So one is, let me redo this comment. One is Codex Creatures. 2 is Codex Plants and Minerals. No, but wait, fuck. Because the table is 1. The table... Yeah, but it's okay. I don't know. I think it's okay. 2 is Codex Plant and Mineral. 3 is Codex Location Lock. 4 is Codex Location NPC. 5 is Codex Story. 6 is Codex Factions. And then we will have more stuff, right? Coming. There will be more stuff. But for now, let's say that this is the comment. Let me just fix it also in update schema so that it stays correct. Okay. So the point is that when I'm loading, when I'm saying that my character has a specific knowledge type, I will have to say 1 for creatures, and I will have to say 1 for the to identify this entry. Right? I think I have a mistake in the logic of the T-map by race. Because, or we put here 2 values, which is race and ID, or this thing will never work. The thing that we said yesterday, you know, where we're saying race info ID is the index of the T-map, I think is a bad idea. Because then... fuck. Because it works if you have 1 entry per race. But we don't have 1 entry per race. We have multiple entry per race. We have multiple entries per race. So, and also we have multiple entry by item stats and multiple entry by faction. So this will never work. So why I did it? Because I had another problem and I decided to do it this way. Because there were the two use cases, right, that we said yesterday. So one was loading the data for the character, and the other one was searching. And the other one was what? I think when we are searching from the codex. But this one cannot be race info. Cannot be. Ah, yes, the second one was when you were doing like /study. No, I understand. Because when I do /study, I would like to access this team app directly. But you know what we can do? You know what we can do? We can have on the creature itself the discoveries that he can make, that he can provide. So we can have a variable that is like provided discoveries, and that will be a pointer to all the discoveries that that creature, or even better, we can have it on Discovery Manager. But yeah, but this one unfortunately cannot be race info. I'm sorry, but this one must be Discovery ID. There is no way. Must be Discovery ID, boys. There is no way. So we need to change the other piece. Cannot be this. So if it's Discovery ID, I definitely have an issue when loading. I mean, when preloading. Because you see that, like now I'm putting C-Race Info ID UID into the T map, but it's a bad idea. Or I make a multi-map. If I make a multi-map, I will be able to extract all the ones that belong to that race dynamically. But still, I think it's cleaner. I think I can preload the. No, let's do it. Let's do it cleaner, okay? So let's do where the ID is always the ID of the discovery. Okay. Is always the ID of the discovery, so I don't have a problem with the search. But then I think inside Discovery Manager we need a way to group them by race so that it's quicker to find them. So that is what I think we should do. Yes. Yeah, so when I'm adding the data to my character, I will say, yes, child table 1, exactly. And then I will say 154, knowledge type 1, child table, I don't know, let's say 3 just for... so we pick the first and the third element, right? Okay. Okay. So we have some data for our character, and we have some data defined for our creatures. Now I want to see. I want to see if the preloading is doing something. Okay, because we never executed that code, and we need to see if this code is doing something. And we want to debug for sure this piece, and then we will have to debug the load all discoveries, right? Which is actually inside Discovery Manager. Load all discoveries. So these are the two pieces that we need to debug and see if they are loaded properly as startup. So what we are doing before the design of the user interface, right? We added some dummy data, right? And we are now testing, that the preloading is working. And then we are testing that the loading on the character is working, right? So these are the two things that we are doing now. So we are testing the preloading, and we are testing the loading. Now we are doing with a kind of a subset of information. So the dummy data that we added is very little, but you know, still I think is okay. Maybe we should do one chunk for each. Yeah, I think it would be better if we have one creature, one plant, one, you know. So description, so we need the same set of, so description is number 7, habitat is number 1, and the properties is number 6. Okay, this is just for the icons. I think this kind of and then also for this one we need some kind of dummy data. Do we have a description of this flower or no? Charm flower, do we have a description anywhere? We have this, which is a very simple one, but I will put it all in red, so I remember that this description are just dummy. Grows nears to rivers, nears rivers, on the road close to go granted. I don't know, just inventing something. Properties, I don't know, can be used for can be used to make potions. Okay, something like that. So now if I insert those three, we will also have data. Okay, so we also have some plants data, which is not bad, and then we will have oh, by the way, this creature info is already old because we changed it. Because we added description. And description, I can take it from the plants. Yeah, this one is a bit of the like the charter of, you know, of the design of this functionality. So I want to keep it kind of up to date. So this is more like 4 or 5 at this point, because it's, yeah, it's more 4 or 5 levels, which is actually a lot. But I think that probably 2 or 3 will unlock at the same time. So I don't think that you will be in need of unlocking, you know, all 5 separately. I think they will unlock kind of at the same time, some of them. So will not be as long as you think. Yeah, in this case, it makes sense that it's the NPC ID anyway. Because in this case is a slightly different okay. Yeah, we are a bit testing the water, yeah. So it's like we are working on, you know, kind of the foundation of it, and we don't have yet a clear final, you know, idea of how this should work. But okay, so I'm gonna run it. So the server will load, and it will try to load from the database. I think it would be nice to have also one mineral maybe, but for now let's go with this. While it's loading, I can create the minerals table. Creatures info, we set this. And then we have plants, and then I think we need to have a duplicate which will pay rename to minerals, right? So minerals, so basically this one will be 333, and we can take 1 minute. Now the problem will be, do we go with the ore? Yes, we go with the ore. So we will have only the ore in the compendium. We will have only the ore in the compendium. I think so. I think so. So if I search all the ore, I have I can search it like this. Yes, these are, for example, you know, the majority of them. Platinum ore, silver ore, copper ore, gold ore, iron ore, cinnabar ore, tin. So these are, let's say, the primary material, you know, the base materials. I need the ID as well. So I can't. Here we are under minerals, huh? Okay. So I think we can have something like this, and we can have now for each one. For each one, I need what? For the minerals, we said that we have. For the mineral, we said that we have description, usage and value. Yeah, usage and value is the properties anyway. Can we call it properties? And then no locations is a bit of a mess. No locations. I No locations. I mean, or I can also have a usage and value, but I think is the same as properties, no? The question are, can be cut for precious gem, can be melted to make tools, can be melted to make weapons. What is the average price, right? This is the kind of information that we need. This no location is a mess. Anyway, usage and value, I can also add a new one. It's not a problem. I can add so we need description and usage and value. It's no problem. I can do that. Now the no locations is a bit of a mess because I think that we will have, or we have it also on the map. I think there will be probably. The problem of having it on the map is that I don't think we will have sub maps for every part of the world. No locations, I have no idea how to do it at the moment. I have to think about this one. I have no idea. So for now, let's leave it out. And I will think about it, okay? Let me add a usage and value then here as number 8. And for this one, usage and value, what do we use? Oh fuck, I need to reopen the editor. No. Okay, I will do it in a second. So let's remember that we need to add a new line here. But yes, at the moment, basically each of those will have 2 lines. Right? We'll have 2 lines. No. Which will be like this. Okay, and this will be identical for the 2 lines, right? And this will all be 3. And yes, and then we will need a description of some kind, 7 and 8. Yes, there will be 7 and 8 everywhere. And the activation type, I still need to think about it. What is the problem of this sequel? Why is it not working? Okay. Okay. Okay, let's put just some generic description, okay, and usage. I will just put some for being dummy data. Hello, Seiryu. Hi. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for the follow. So I think we will have let me see if we have a description, but for sure we have a description. Yes, we have a description of most of them. Even the description are pretty bad, I have to say. So we will have to rework these descriptions, okay? Let me just copy all of this. So We will have to update all this dummy data later on. Okay, so we have it. So also this one we can insert to the database. And see what happens. Now we have to be a bit careful because since the IDs are auto-generated, we may mess up a bit if we add a new item in the middle, right? So maybe the idea to have the ID hidden at the end is not a great idea. I need to think about that. Because like now, if I go under Codex Nature, I'm getting, you know, yes, all this information about creatures, flowers, and minerals, but the ID are kind of auto-generated, and these ID are the ones that are pointing to the character inventory, to the character discovery. So we have to be super careful on that. But for the rest, I think is okay. Okay, so let's try to move on. So let me restart the server here, and let me remove these breakpoints which we don't need. And so we will debug if the preloading is okay. I think my face is again a bit low. I don't know why. Sometimes the tracking is a bit stupid. 1 second. Let me try to redo the calibration. It looks like if I'm looking like this, I think it's better now. Now I'm looking straight. Yes, I think now it's better. Before it was a bit like looking down. I mean, the face was down too much. Yeah, I think it's better. Okay, so we are inside the preloading function. And here we are preloading the knowledge of the creatures, okay? We are preloading the knowledge of the creatures. So at the moment, Codex creatures should be empty. Yes, and it is. We are initializing as an empty set, and then we are loading from the database, and this is at the startup of the server. And then we are going through, I don't know, I think I can just let it run and see, but right, you see, and is adding. So let me go here. Let me go down here and see what we have now in Codex creature. So in Codex creature we have 4 elements, which seems to be fine. With the ID number 1, description, and we have a pointer to erase info with UID 0. Okay, so everything seems to be okay. Yes, everything seems to be okay in this loading. Now, let's try the plants and minerals. I mean, they are all pretty much identical, so I'm not expecting big trouble. Plants and mineral also has 4 elements. No, actually, plants and minerals should have 3 elements, not 4. Why has 4 elements? ID 5, 6, 7, and 8. What the fuck? Select star from codex nature where item type. No, because we split it. Wait. What? Oh, wait a second. We put everything together. Wait, maybe we have a problem in our data. So there is 3 and there is 2, okay? So all the 2 and all the 3 should be loaded. Yes, all the 2 and all the 3 should be loaded. Now, why is failing? Because yes, it was actually 19. I didn't get exactly what happened here, but it seems that we have a bug. So let me redo it. It seems we have a bug in reading the plans. I mean, there is something that is not, it's not working as expected. This one is fine because we get the 4 elements with the 4 entry for the creature, for the first creature, but for the plants and minerals, for some, I think I messed up. The query seems to be okay because we are trying to see where item type is different than 1, and in fact we get 19 results. But then when we end, fuck. Okay, I found it. This one was still referencing creatures. Yes, there was a small mistake. Okay, let's recompile. Let's recompile and see. Now there will be quite some work from settings to actually populate all this data. I think that a lot of this we have already, but there is also quite a bit that needs to be created. It's not something that will happen overnight, but it's something that will be very nice to have. It will give a lot of deepness to the settings and to the lore of the game, if we do it right. So the result set is 19 now, and let me see if I arrive up to here. We expect, yes, okay, so now we have 19 elements inside our codex plants and minerals. Perfect. Now locations unfortunately is empty. I don't have any of that, so this will and the same for the story. For the story and the same for the factions. So we need I don't know if I want to do it now, but yes, in theory we need in this file we need a few more Excel files. We need one for locations, one for locations, which are the main location, the locations on the main map, and the location I don't know if we also want to have location to the submap, but I don't think so. I think we just want the NPC. I think we just want the NPC. So, so let me see if I can create it. So maybe, but anyway, the loading seems to be working fine, which is good. So this would be locations, main map. But location main map, I think would be fairly easy. So what do we need? We need okay, the ID is always auto-generated, but we need the item type. Okay, in which in this case is location on main map, submap owned, which is the existence of the submap, yes, and then the tree is the NPC. Okay. Then we have the item name, description, and icon. So we have name, description, and icon, yes. Then we have, so this ref ID actually is useless. I can delete it, I think. This one, just for reference, is the item name. And so, for example, the first one will be Idla City, or Idla, without city, and say just Idla. And this one will be 1. Then we have the item name, description. The item name, wait, here we are speaking about locations. So actually the item name is this one. So I don't think we need this column, because the item name is already specifying. Yes, yes, I think so. And we can have more, I mean, this is just an example, but we can have more locations on the main map that you will discover. Whoever invented these names, boys. Is it one or the other? I always mess it up. So the item description, and then the icon. The icon. No, the icon will be a very special one. So we will need to have one icon for each of these special locations, and I think we will have it. Yeah, this will be very special locations, so they will have their own very special icon. And then for NPC will be a bit different. So, but let me just make an example. Okay, so we will have. Do we want to list them by? I don't know. I think probably will be easier if we list them this way. I mean, Idla East, Idla Plaza, and Idla North. I don't know. So this will be the sub maps, and you see that the one is the location on the main map. while these one are the availability of a specific submap. Right. So something like that. There is the main city, and yes. Now, yes, this one will have a specific icon. Now, icons of the submap, I don't think we need it. So this one I think will be 0. The submaps, I don't think they need any icon. Or they may use a generic icon. They may use, yeah, maybe they may use a generic icon for that is it looks like a map. It looks like a map. I think we can have I think we can have a submap icon. I need to add that one. I need to add that one. But yes, so this will be like this. It will be like this, and then you will have NPC as well. Now NPC, I don't know if you want to put them here in the same list, but probably not, because they really look very different. Even if I think in terms of consistency, considering that they are referring to a submap, I think it would be kind of cool to have it. Would be kind of cool to have it here, right? So you can say, as we have in the example, we have Duroc, Yonda, Jardet, right? And we can have, so it will be the name, this will be the description, and then we will need the NPC ID, which will be valid only, for NPC. Main map ID. Yes. We need also the main map ID. If the item is a submap, this points to the main map. Yes, we need this. It is a bit annoying though, but I can put it here, and this will be main map ID. Let me copy also the description so we know why we do this. So if this item is submap with my main ID, so for example, Idla East will have 1, Idla Plaza will have 1, and this one will have 1, because they are referencing this main map, right? And for all the others, it will be 0. Then for the NPC, this will not be relevant, so this will be 0. And for the NPC, no, we can use the same one, submap ID. So if the item is submapped, this points to the main map, and then we can say if this item is an NPC, if it's an NPC, point to the submap where the NPC is located. So basically, this is just the reference. So for the NPC, this one will be 2, right? 2, 2, and 2, because these one are pointing to the Idla East submap. So I think that makes sense. And for Idla itself, I think that this one is 0, so it's not relevant. Okay. Okay. So this one we did. Then we need we need the NPC ID. The NPC ID, I think we can add it here, and it's called is called NPC ID, and if this is an NPC, it points to the character ID. Okay. I don't know why it's doing this. HTTP. Why is trying to make it an HTTP something? No, don't do it. Okay, fuck it. He wants to do it at all costs. Okay. He wants to remove link. Okay, I can do remove link. Okay, so I think this one is good. So obviously this will be all 0 for the maps, and this will be the actual pointers to the real NPC. So for example, Duroc is Duroc. Right? Duroc is 34. Wow. His NPC ID is 34. It was one of the first created, I guess. I think all these ones will be very low in number. While Yonda is not Yonda, it's because it's with a Y and not with a J. Look at this ID, 9,000 millions. And Jardet is this 9,000 million. It's only Duroc that is 34. 34 is insane. It means that it's one of the very, 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 very first NPC we ever created in the game. Hello, Hula. Good afternoon. How are you? So in terms of description, I don't think we really care, because we are going to populate this description automatically based on the fact if the NPC I think we are going to populate it automatically, this one. I don't want anyone to go crazy and populate this stuff. So I think it should stay as empty. I think this one should stay as empty. Item icon, I don't know, I think we will have a default icon for object and so on, right? This is just an example, but this is just an example. And yeah. And stuff like this, right? Okay. So, these one are all locations in the main map, so they will have 0, 0, 0, and the NPC ID. Maybe -1 is even better, so that we understand it is not relevant, but it will not be loaded anyway, so okay. So we need to fix the sequel. The sequel is what? The sequel will be insert into codex locations. So this thing. So insert into codex locations. And then we will insert what? We will insert item type, yes, item name, item description, item icon. Then we will insert main map ID, Then we will insert NPC ID. And then we will insert coordinate X and Y. Coordinate, come on. Chords X and chords y, and yes, here we need coordinate x and y, because these are the ones. So if the item, yes, if the item is an NPC, it is recorded on a submap. Okay, so here we explained a bit of what this is. Chords y. Well, I think I can avoid typing it. I think it's okay. Activation script doesn't exist in this case. So, okay. So this will allow us to put the coordinates. And so let me see. Item type, A2, yes. Then we have item name, which should already be... Ah, wait, this one I think I can just delete all, because we have it here. We have it. What the fuck? Yes, is correct. B2, okay, so we do B2, which is the item name. Then we do C2, which is the item description. Then we do D2, which is the item icon. And then we do no, and then we need all the other ones. So these are all numbers actually. So I think that also for the icon we don't need the quotes, and for this one also we don't need the quotes. This will be E2, and then we will have a separator, and then we will go for F2, which would be the NPC ID, and then we will go for G2, yes, which is coordinate X, and then H2, which is coordinate Y, and that's it. Okay, so in theory this should do what we need. We just need to populate coordinate X. Now let's just put some dummy values, because I have no idea obviously where these are on a potential map that we don't have yet. So and these ones, so if it's a submap, these are not relevant, right? Because we don't care where those are. And you know what? I think I like the -1, because I think it's much more understandable. There is not a valid value. I think it's so much understandable. There is not a valid value. So and then what? And then we need the coordinates for all. So the submaps don't have coordinates, but the main ones do. So all these ones will be, I don't know. I mean, these are all red, by the way. I mean, these are just dummy values that I'm putting for fun, but these will have all to be checked, okay, with the real map, when we will have the real map. Now for the NPC, yes, for the NPC the same. So this will be yes, this will be also coordinates. Now maybe it's not a good idea to put them identical, otherwise people get confused, but yes, this will be all the NPC coordinates that they will sit on the map. Okay, So so we take this, we copy it down here, and so we can do this insert also in location. So we have some other dummy data that we can try to load in. Okay, 11 value, nice. So this is other stuff that we can. So now we have the locations and NPC. Locations and NPC, we did it. Now we are still missing a bunch of stuff. We are still missing stories and factions. Okay, I think it's good that we do it, so at least it's done, you know. Stories. So stories, what is the content of stories? Stories is this. So it's item type, name, icon, and creative. So it's very simple, actually. Stories at the moment is super simple. So is item name, example this, item description, item name, if we can do it bold will be nice, yes. Item description, which is okay. No, item description we don't have. We have item creative, actually. Which is this thing, and then we have item icon. Which actually, if we can do it in the same sequence, I would kind of prefer, yes. So this is the same sequence that we have in the database. And name, so we have type, name, type. Now we also have type, actually. Ah, sorry, type, I didn't copy it for some reason. But we have type. We have item type. We have item type, which I don't know yet how it will be, because I need still to develop a bit my thinking on this one, my reasoning on this one. So I'm not sure what I want here, but, and then we will have, and then we will have a kind of an insert like this. In this case will be way simpler though. Will be way simpler. So we'll be concatenate into codex story, item type, item name, item icon, and item creative, right? And nothing else. And then the values will be A2, B2. All of them needs to be escaped, because B2, C2, D2, well, all this one needs to be in quotes, D2, and that's it. At the moment we don't have anything else, so we can close it like this. Okay, so here the items, I really don't know yet what the hell they will be, but for example, if you are speaking about the story, I think we will have the living home world, right? Now the question is, how do we do it? For example, will be, I don't know if in the, So for example, we have Stonehammer, Homeworld, Story, something like that. I don't know. And then in the creative, we have in the creative, we have like the reason for living. Something like this. And nothing else. So the insert will be, let me see if the insert is working. Yes. Yeah, something like that. I think at the end I will need to put the ID, because not having the ID, I think will mess up with our updates later on. But I think it's something as simple as this. Now the problem would be how to activate this thing, and that I don't know yet. I want to become famous. I don't know. Probably not. It's better not to be famous. Way easier. Way easier. Okay, so stories we have. Now we are missing only factions. Which is factions and organizations, right? Factions, I think also faction is not too complex at the moment. So it's only ID, name, description, and icon. So yes, it's very similar to this one. So I think I can just copy the whole thing. And type we don't need, but we need a reference to the faction ID though, huh? Yes, we need the faction ID. So faction ID, this one is pointing to it's pointing to the faction table. Yes. Then name, which is example purpose organization. Okay, the icon, and then we have the description, which is just this, the knowledge we provide to the player. And okay, and so we did this one. Okay, so now this table will be our now faction pointing to the faction. Now for factions, I think we can just copy paste the whole thing. I hope so. Plus we will have, I think, some additional organizations, but now these ones, didn't we delete these ones? Why they are still in the database? Okay, let me make an example just with one, okay, and we will or one or two. Or 3 or 4. I don't remember if we have these orders as factions or not. Okay. Icon, I have no idea. Description, it will be a description of this thing. So the description, actually, we can take it directly from the faction. I don't think we want to. Do we want to have a different description compared to the one that is already in the faction? I don't think so. But wait a second. Wait a second. It's not this. No. This is not what I want to have. Actually, this is not what we want to have, because this name is the name that goes just for reference, but actually the item name is, for example, purpose, or organization, or notable people, right? Yes, exactly. Sorry, I was messing actually. I was messing up actually. So each one will have something like this. And each one can have multiple items, right, per faction based on what we want to be discoverable. And yes, the icon, I think we should kind of set it to something. Yeah, we should. I think the icon should be set, but I don't know at the moment. And then the description, whatever, will be blah, blah, blah. Right? Okay, so we basically created, no, wait, let me put the faction. Okay, so in Codex faction, we want to have the faction ID. Which in this case is called ref ID. I don't know why it's called ref ID, but anyway, it's called ref ID. Ref ID, then we want item name, item description, item name, item description, and item icon. And that's it. And then we will have insert into codex faction ref ID, blah, blah, blah. So I need 4 values. A2, which is actually a number. C2, because B is just, which is actually a string. D2, and E2, which is actually a number as well. Okay, so this should make it. This should make it. Okay, let me try to execute also this SQL. Did we insert with the story or not? Probably not, huh? We can insert this one in the database. Oh yes, we did. Yeah, story we did. And so we do factions as well. Boom, boom. A no column item description in field. Okay. A non-column item description in field. Because it's item desk. Fine. Okay, paste formula. And we re-execute this thing. Where do we do it? We do it here. Okay, so we have 9 lines of that. So yes, basically now we have more stuff to be loaded in the database. So basically we have 1 chunk to load for each piece. And so we can test. Now, creature we tested already. Plants we tested already, but we can execute it again and see what happens. By the way, if any one of you is new and you have any questions, please ask your question. If you have any question about the game, about what we are doing, or in general, you know, game development questions, or if you are working on something and you want to let us know what you're working on, that would be nice as well. Ok, si ricompare. Let me just give a link. There was someone asking how does it get the number of hours in game. Yeah, did it start or what? Okay. Okay, so server is starting. We should get the breakpoint. Easy breakpoint. I need to, my Windows is telling me that I need to do an update, but I'm a bit scared because the update is called Feature Update to Windows 10 version 20H2. So it's basically updating my whole window, my whole Windows system. And I don't know. Unfortunately, in the new version of Windows, you cannot avoid anymore the updates. So you can pause them for a certain number of days, but then, you know, after a certain number of days, there is no chance. You have to do it. You have to apply the updates. And sometimes when you're doing development, you know, maybe some of the updates are not compatible with your development environment, or I mean, it depends on the update, but so plants and minerals we are reading okay. Let's see if we read locations and NPC properly, okay? I think I can just let it go. And then when we arrive here, I will check the result, okay? So we have locations, which is actually eight entries. Yes, Isla East, Isla Plaza, Isla Norte, Javeda Magic Shop. Okay, this seems to be fine. And we check also the NPC. The NPC, we have 3 NPC. I don't see the name. Ah, yes, I don't see the name because the NPC, yeah, because we only have the NPC ID, and then the NPC ID, the real NPC will be populated when we load the character. Yeah, I need to remember to put a breakpoint also. A breakpoint. Here. And see if this works. Okay. But yeah, seems the NPC were loading okay. Let me check the story. The story at the moment is only one entry, but seems to be loaded as well. Stonehammer Homeward Story, yes, is there with a description. Okay, let me see the factions. And the factions, we have 9 factions. Perfect. Okay, seems that everything is okay. Ah, the faction ID is missing though. Why? Ah, because this thing is not called faction ID, but it's called ref ID for whatever reason. And so I think if we don't find it though, we should probably give an error because, right? I mean, I think if this is pointing to a non-existing faction, I think we want to give an error. I think we want to give an error. We want to return false. And we can give an error saying something like cannot find so this will be log actually this will be log server startup. Yes, log server start will be an error, and we can say codex factions fail to load faction ID and then %d, and here we do this thing. Let me maybe clean it up. So it's just a bit cleaner to read, you know. Okay, I think I was just thinking if we should I think also here though, if we don't find a valid item ID, I think we should give an error. Yeah. I think it's about the same. If item stats is not valid, I think we should return. Oops, what the hell? Sometimes it's copying the whole line. Why? I think we go codex planted mineral failed to load item stat ID. Yes, and we return false. And by the way, I think also here, because if we get an invalid creature, definitely that will never work well. So we need to stop here. So it's exactly the same here. It's exactly the same, and we can say failed to load race info ID, and then we can have the same thing here. Yeah, so this is making the code a bit more robust from the point of view of error checking. And if this one is returning false, basically the whole server will stop. So we will not gonna we are not gonna load in game if this is failing, because we don't want this to continue, right? If it's not finding the race ID. Now the only thing is the NPC ID, but Yeah. Nice. Ah, what happened? What the fuck? We crashed on spawn manager being null. Okay. What? What is this? I don't understand. Spawn manager being null. Wait. I think it's because we exit with an error. Yes. I think because we exit with an error. Somewhere in the loading. Yes, we exit with an error. So for example, codex plants and minerals fail to load item stats 1218. Okay, good. You see, so we I think it's because we are now in the dummy database and we don't have that particular item defined. So I think I need okay. I think it makes sense. So I think I need and so this one is inside codex plants and mineral. So under codex nature, this 1218 unfortunately I cannot use because 1218 is something that doesn't exist in my dummy database, which is okay. I think I can check if I have any other flower that I can use. Seems not. Fuck. Okay. Let me see if I can use any other plant. If not, we will copy that one. I think we should copy that one because it seems that we don't have any flower. Okay. What was it? I think it was charm flower, eh? Yes, 18, this one. So if this one I copy as a sequel and then I execute it here in my DB. Okay, now we should have that particular item. I think we can do that. We can just add those items. Yes, I think this is what we're gonna do. I hope we have the whore, but I'm not sure. But you see that now we are already doing the error checking. So we are ensuring consistency between the data and the database. Which is nice. There is another one that doesn't exist. 1218. No, wait. 1218 is the one that we just added. Hmm? Oh, fuck. He added it without the ID. This genius. And now we say that it's duplicated. Okay. I see. When you copy the sequel, is not copying it. Is not copying it with the ID, which is kind of weird, but okay. So now we added it with 1218 number. So now the ID is matching, and it should not crash anymore. At least not for that particular item, but it may crash for the ore because I loaded a lot of different ore, and I don't know if I have them all in the database. Probably not. Probably not. I think we still had a breakpoint, no? We didn't? We didn't. Okay. No. I removed all the breakpoints, huh? But anyway, it didn't crash, so it means that you loaded everything. Okay. It crashed now. Let me see what is going on. 663. Yes, now we are hitting the other items that don't exist in our database. I don't know if I want to add them all or like platinum ore and things like that. No, actually we have it. It's a different ID. Oh fuck. Seriously? Holy shit. It's a different ID, boys. It's a different ID. No. Okay. Okay. Fine. 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 So we need to use these IDs. Fuck it. That is a bit annoying. That is a bit annoying. I don't know why we have this split of ID between the two databases. I have no idea why they are different. I mean, in theory they should not, but do we have silver, copper, and gold? Do we have silver? Yeah, silver is 9002. Silver, copper we don't have, for example, and gold we have 85. You know what, I think I'm gonna delete a few of those, which anyway we made just for as an example. So this is just sample data, so let's keep only 3 of them and fuck it. I can do 9003. Anyways, it's all dummy data, right? It's not the final data. I will delete these other pieces. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 types. I think 4 types is okay. 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 Yes. So let's try again. I was expecting to get the breakpoint, but I think I did. I know I have one breakpoint here on the locations. Should we print out how many we are loading? Probably yes. I think it would be nice to have a like codex loaded X amount, you know? Something like this. What? What the fuck? I think we can. So we load the creatures. I think it would be nice at the end of loading the creatures to have compendium creatures loaded. Creatures entry. Creature entries loaded, because this is not the number of creatures, this is the number of entries for all the creatures. And this will be coded creatures. I don't know if there is count or num. So I think we need to add something like this to every section, so we also have the information. So preload plants and minerals. I think we go with, yes, here we put compendium plants and minerals, plant and mineral entries loaded, and then we go plants and minerals num. Then we load locations and we say compendium locations, location entry loaded. Here we have two different, so I think we can have two different lines. One is the location and one is the NPC entries. So that the server is telling us that. And then the last, no, and then we have the stories. Yes, and then we have the stories. And then we have the faction. Okay, so we can see directly how many we loaded. Okay, so that's good. So it's always nice to see when the server is starting up the numbers, because you see if everything is going the way you want. So I think it's a good addition. I think I need to check into SVN, because I think it's 2 days or so that I'm not checking in. I think I didn't check in anything yesterday or today. Okay, so up to here we loaded properly. Yeah, and you see that we say 4 compendium creatures entry loaded, 11 compendium plants and mineral entry loaded, which is nice. Now let's go with the NPC. 3 compendium NPC entry loaded, and 8 locations loaded. Okay. Now let's go until the end. Boom. We crashed on what? Unknown field ID, submap ID. Unknown field ID, submap ID. I think I messed up one name. Fail to load faction 5. I think we have a problem here. Failure to load faction ID 5. But we also have another problem. We have this submap ID. Submap ID, which actually doesn't exist. Submap ID is called main map ID. Right, so there is another problem, huh? The rest should be okay. And we have a problem with the faction number 5. I mean, it's great that I put all these checks because now I can really see if something is broken. I think that in the dummy database we have very few factions. Yes. Okay, we can use the number from 1 to 4. It's okay. It's not a problem. We can use a number from 1 to 4. So 1 is okay. Then we do like 2, 2, and 2. And then we do 3, 3, and 3. Okay. Oops. Okay. So we have now pointers to valid factions. Okay, let's try again. There was also the error on the sub ID. There was also an error there. Dun, 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 dun. There was an error, cannot find or open. I don't know, I went through kind of quickly, but okay. Okay, but seems that now we loaded everything, you see, so we loaded 4, 11, 8, 3, 1, and 9 entries for the different sections. So, okay, so what this means? This means that our server is aware of compendium entries available to be discovered by players. Okay, so this is basically what it means. Now, what I want to see is if when we load the discovery, by the way, I think we should load the discovery only for players, huh? Why we're loading the discovery also for NPC? That's not a great idea. I think this load all discoveries, we should do it only if he's a player, right? So we should do if is player, then we load this. If not, we don't. Because you see, they was trying to load the discovery for all the NPC, and it's a bad idea. Because they will take a lot of time for nothing, because they will all be empty, but still we will do all the cycles needed to, you know, do the query on the database and all of that. By the way, I think we need to optimize a bit the loading of our NPC. That would be nice. I think at the moment it's kind of slow. Even if the initial startup is not so relevant, but I will start some background music. Let me see if we had any issue with the stream of yesterday on the music. No. Nice. Okay, so here we are where basically we loaded the NPC information, and now we want to associate the this NPC wait a second. No, I think it's okay. So let me check. Find ref codex NPC. This one in theory will return null in this case. Yes. So sorry, there is obviously an error here. The error is that if only if this one is valid, right? Only if this one is valid we do this. So if it's not part of the preloading we don't care about him, right? How do I know that I defined NPC which are actually valid? I don't like the fact that at the moment we are not error checking the NPC. I don't like that. We need to error check it, because like now I know that some of the NPC are not matching, but we will not discover it, and that's fairly bad. We want to be sure that we are discovering that. So this NPC ID must exist in the database. If it doesn't, but how do we do it? We can do it through a query actually. So we can do a left join and see if is empty. Let me try, because I don't want to do another query. I want to do it in one query only. Even if this will be a pretty big query if I do it with a join. What is the best way to do it? Basically, we need to check the consistency between codex locations and our NPC locations. So one way will be to change this query to join codex locations and NPC, where item type equal to 3 and NPC ID is matching. Yeah, probably that's the only way. Will be a kind of a big query though, because if you think about, I mean, joining the characters table is always a bit of a problem, because the characters table is freaking huge. It's really big, but I don't think I have another choice. So I think I should do something like or I collect all the ID and then I put them into a in of all the IDs, but select NPC ID from codex locations, right? Where item type is equal to 3. So this is basically the one that is telling me that I have this 3 NPC, right? I have this 3 NPC that I need to load. And I want to see if these 3 NPC are existing in the characters table. It's a bit of a... It's kind of annoying to do it. The other way will be to do this, to do select NPC ID from codex with item team, select and, you know, NPC ID in, and then we select ID from characters where character type equal to 1, which is an NPC. And this is basically, this subquery is returning about 1500 elements. The problem is that we are then going to select into 1500 elements. So we are going to check 1500 elements every time, which is a bit of annoying. Now it's going quick because it's the dummy database, it doesn't have much. But... and by the way, is it returning it? Is it returning something crazy? Ah no, okay. Yeah, you see none of them is matching. None of them is actually matching. So I can do it this way. This is one way. I can do it this way. So where I'm double checking, this is double checking that all the ID are matching. Or I can do it in another way, and basically the number of entry that I'm finding should be the same number of entry that I have in codex location. Another way will be to do it like select. If you want to get this, select so we will have to do like from codex location, codex and characters, character C, where co.npcid equal to c.id, and I think we can put anyway a c dot character type equal to 1, because at least we are filtering a bit all the records, right? So if I execute this one, what? Yeah, I need to say select what? Select count. Also, this one, the result should be identical to the number of elements that I have. So I have these two ways to do it. I don't know which one is the fastest, but I don't know if the in select is easier, I mean it's faster, or the join is fast. The problem is that this join, I mean this table is huge. This table is huge. So it's like 500,000 or 1 million records, right? Or 2 million, I don't know even how many. So it's true that we do it only at startup, so it's not a problem. At the moment they are executing super quick anyway. I think the problem of the join is that it's generating this huge table. Even if I'm selecting only count, and so I'm extracting only the number of records. And this filter is a pretty big filter, because this filter is filtering on, is reducing to 1,500 records, which are our NPC. So probably this one is better than the in, because I think that the in is doing it for every record. Exactly. Surprisingly, doing a join is usually faster than a large in statement. It is because the values are in the in are not indexed, so my SQL can do an index join on them. But it only applies with a lot of values. Okay. I don't know, do we believe this guy? Do we believe this guy? I don't know, but it's saying that the join will be better. I mean, okay, let's do the join. So basically with the join, what I want to do, I want to say that I want to check if the count of codex locations where wait a second. I also need to, I can also add another condition, which is co.npcid, no, co.item type equal to 3, yeah? Co.item type equal to 3. So this will be a better query, I guess. But basically the result at the moment is that none is matching. So the problem is that it cannot tell you which ones. At least with this query, it cannot tell you which one. It's just telling you that some of the NPC are not matching. And if you really want to see which ones, we should do a left join for let me try. How do we do the left join? From album left join track on. Okay. From album left join characters on this where, okay. What? What the fuck? Why item type is not 3? I mean, item type should be 3. Yes, exactly. Why, if I add the where, it becomes an empty query? Okay, like this it works. Is character type equal to 1, which is fucked up? Is character type equal to 1? No, I don't understand. Why character type equal to 1 is fucked up. Character type 1 is NPC. Yes. And so why, with this additional clause, no, I don't get it. I don't get it, boys. What is the problem? So like this, I get my query with the ID which is null, so I see that there are 3 elements which are not matching, right? If in the where clause because you cannot join. Because you cannot join? No, in theory you should still... No, I don't understand. What the fuck? Why if I add this clause, which is just a way to filter the second table, the left join is not returning any items anymore? While, for example, this one is working. It seems that if you filter more on the second left join table, is returning 0 results. That's super annoying though, because I need to filter on that. Wow. Wow. I don't understand why this is happening, but it's happening anyway. I have 0 result as a... I have 0 result if I add this additional, even if it's a left join, so in theory it should just put a null, you know? It's like if there are no character types equal to 1 in the database, but actually there are. Let me try one thing. Is that the result of the... because it's already the result. Because the C table is already the join table when you do the where clause, I think. Okay, I understand. That's kind of annoying. So to know which one are failing, we need to do this query. So I think that we can do this query up here. Right, we can do this query up here and check how many are the resulting. Okay, let me do sanity check on NPC being properly NPC ID. Sanity check on NPC ID. So here we need to do. We need to do this query. Right. we will do this query, and if the result location count is different than location codex npc num, right? So if this one is different than that, then it means that we have a problem. So it means that the NPC that we have in the database are not the same number of the ones that we are expecting from the codex. So so in this case, we can execute the other query and just tell the user, tell the developer that we have a problem. And I think we can do this, and we can do this, and we can say so this is returning all the ones that are invalid. There is returning all the ones that are invalid. Yes, exactly. So we can, I think we can for loop this, and we can check, and we can print out something like something like error compendium npc not matching npc id %d, and we say, hey, this particular id is not working, and we will do this dot of x dot get int yeah, and I think at the moment it will say that all three are not good, right? So this thing should work in theory. It doesn't like this. Wait, why it doesn't like it? NPC ID X. Ah, fuck. Okay, I know. I didn't put the. So how is the field named? I think the field when we is named ID. No. Is named NPC ID. We need to find the one that is not matching. Okay, let's try like this. I think this one is pretty good. If the NPC is actually not existing in the characters table, it will give us an error, and so we will know that is bad. And if we want to do the test with the good data, I can just add one of the NPC to be correct and the others to not be correct, and so I can go like what? I can go. I can take this one, so ID number 4, so we'll have one which is ID number 4, which is actually correct in codex locations. In codex, wait a second, in codex locations, So I will have one NPC matching. For example, this one, right? And these two. Now, it can be pointed to the wrong NPC, but if it's pointing to the wrong NPC, we have nothing, you know. I mean, it's impossible for us to know. So we just double check that the ID is a valid ID, and it's actually an NPC. And it's actually an NPC. Well, actually, that is actually an NPC. We are not checking that. I need to do... I mean, to be sure there is an NPC, I need to extract character type. I need to extract C character type, and I need to do... maybe if I do it this way, it works. Wait. What? Yes. Yes, and no, wait. Now, fuck, why if I put character type is not working? And, wait. And C dot character type equal to 1, and... You see, as soon as I put character type equal to 1 is going to shit. Because it doesn't exist in the join table. Yes, because you cannot join it. Because the join is empty. Okay. So in theory, I could match it with a player. Okay, fuck it. Is enough error checking anyway. Yes, I could match it with a player, and so in that case we will not know. But you see, okay, you see here in the log, now it's saying error compendium and NPC not matching. ID 34, ID 9, no. So it's telling us that there is a problem, which is nice, exactly what we wanted. And now if I restart it again, it will tell us that only 2 are not matching. Right? So we are in the right... So we are doing the sanity check correctly. And by the way, I think if it's not matching, it should return false. Yeah. Yes, you see? Only 2 are not matching now. Okay. So I think this is good. This is very good. So if this is happening, we will return false. And so basically the server will not load anymore. I mean, it just stops with the error and we'll tell you the error. So I think that's fine. So now let's fix those 2 so we can proceed. So 34, so we need 2 other NPC. We need 2 other valid NPC on the test database. So not this one. 5 and 6 are perfectly valid. So inside codex locations, codex locations. We go 5 and 6. Now we are not 100% sure that these are actually corresponding to the same NPC, but you will see it immediately, because when this will load up, you will not have the proper values, right, and the proper description. So I think will be by the way, item description populated by the server. This one I think at the moment I'm not populating it at all. I'm just setting the that's interesting. Yeah, we are just setting the NPC. So we should do a bit more actually. I think the best would be if we could, in Codex NPC, if we could set the description of this thing. We are not storing it here. Because in theory we are getting it on the fly. We are getting it on the fly when we display the map. I think it would be better if it's preloaded. I think it's better if it's preloaded, boys. I think it's better if it's preloaded. Because why we need to calculate one thing a million times if we can calculate it one time only at the beginning, right? So I think we should preload this thing. Now to preload it, we should set to preload it. Because in the NPC we don't have a description and we don't have a name. Now a name we can just get from the server immediately. I mean, it is there already, so it's easy. Is a description, which is something that we need to have. So I think that we need to add this here. And we can say this is populated by set code NPC when the actual NPC is loaded by the server, right? And this description will be the one that we want to show now, for now, I don't know, I don't want to do it now, so I will just say to be done, populate by server. Okay, so this one is a you fix me to do, but we need to do this because it's not yeah. But I think this will be the best, right? So that we have it. Okay, so but anyway, I think this thing is working now. I mean, at least the loading, the preloading, the identification of the NPC and all of that is actually loading fine. Is actually loading fine. Okay. Okay, so where we are in our map, because I'm losing track a bit. So define the Excel to enter data. I think we defined it fully. So this one is fully done. Design the C++ classic to support this schema. I think that all the basic schema is there. We're only missing this guy, but this is more for executing operations. So I think that this one we can say at this point that is done. Then test preloading. We tested preloading. Test loading character is okay. This one we didn't test yet. But we tested the preloading. And the preloading seems to be fine. Implement preloading and storing in Cache Manager. This one is also done. We were there yesterday, but today we finished it. And so this one is also done. Yeah, so we need to test the fact that when you load your character, you are loading the discoveries of your character in memory. And then I think we need to start to design the user interface of this thing. So we are not too far, boys. We are not too far to see something. Now we need to add a new menu icon for the compendium, right? To enable it. So this will be another icon in the bar. Fuck, we have like 1 million icons. You know what I was thinking? I was thinking that for the top bar, maybe we can kind of group it. So like we could have, you know, today we have icons. No, fuck, I was pasting. Today we have icons in the top bar. No, please. Sorry, I'm messing up. I don't know why. Like, fuck. I'm messing up with Control C, Control V. I don't know why. Okay, so imagine that these are all the top thingies, right? And at the moment we have so many of them. So we have so many. There are so many freaking icons of all different kinds and types and such. And the compendium will be another one, right? I was thinking, what if we group them somehow? And so you have a first icon that pops up like that, and then you have when you click it. When you click it, you actually have a kind of a sub menu which is popping up vertically, right? So like that, for example, this one is your character, and so under character you have like skills, quest, stats, I don't know, and then this one is something else. I mean, I don't know if we can really group them, but I think if we group them, this bar will become a bit smaller, because at the moment the problem is that this bar is becoming insanely long. So, and it will continue to increase, right? So I don't know what you think about this idea of grouping them by. I'm speaking about the top bar that we have in the game, which is the menu bar. So what happened? We had a crash actually. Engine requested exit. Okay, requested exit, why? What? What do you mean requested exit? Did I return false where I should not return false, or what? Did I fucked up this return? No, I mean this return. No, this one is okay. How can it be? How can he? There is something else not working here. I don't understand. Because this part will load properly. I'm just trying to understand what is crashing then. The server at the moment is crashing. What the hell? Okay, we're loading. We will arrive to this point and the compendium is loaded properly. So it seems that we don't have any problem with the compendium data, at least. But then, boom. What the? I cannot even find where is it. So it's before the compendium. The fuck? No, I don't understand. I don't understand what is going on. I don't understand what is going on. It's before the compendium, really? So we are crashing before this preloading? What the fuck? What happened? What did I change? I didn't change anything. We are exiting with an error before the... Or the database went down. The database is up. I mean, obviously, because without database, we cannot do anything, so... Okay, so at least we arrive here. Let me see if all the preloading is okay. Ah! Yes, we are returning false. How we are returning false, boys? If we don't give any errors. Yeah, I think I messed up the return false somewhere. Okay. Let me see where we return false, because I think I fucked up something. I fucked up one of the returns, right? Is it this one? No, because this one is printing something. So I think it's the last one that I changed. So I Yes, he arrives. So this false is wrong. How can it be wrong? Okay, so let me see. So result check ID, right? So result check ID count. Ah, stupid me. Stupid. Is not result ID count. It is counting the number of results that we have. We need to get the first we need to get the count, which is the first thing. So we need to do if result check ID of 0 dot get int of CNT is different than, right? Okay, now it's better. Now is way better. Let me just turn on the light because we are in darkness. Darkness. Complete darkness. Pocket. Wow. Okay, I'm here. Meanwhile, it's loading. Meanwhile, Okay, now we check if this check is okay. Yes, you see now it's not different anymore. Because result, yeah, the size is 1, but the aqua result will say, and data is a bit hard to find, but anyway, 3, I think it's 3, yeah, it's 3 lines. So it's checking if 3 lines is the same as this, right? Because this query is returning, this query is returning the number 3. Right, yes. So yeah, okay, good. Okay, so we are, so now the preloading is okay. And then we have this part where we are setting the codex of the NPC, obviously only if we find it in the list. And I think we can just avoid this and just see if it starts up. Okay, so everything now is loaded. Okay, everything now is loaded. Okay, now what's next? We need to test the loading of the character. So now the database, the server knows which are the discoveries that we do in the compendium, okay? At least for our dummy data. Now, we need to see when we log in as a player, considering that I added few entries to my character discoveries, right? Because I said maybe let's just add 1 character discovery per area. So let's improve a bit this data. So let's put yes, always on me. What? Always on me. My character is number 154. Now we want to point to minerals, plants, location, I mean all of them. Story and faction. So we basically we will have 1 piece of knowledge for each of the things, okay? Now I just need to be sure that I'm pointing it right. This can also be another consistency check. That, you know, the codex relationship is correct. Yeah, I think that would be nice. Okay, so what do? So the child table, so if I say 1, I'm inside codex creatures, yes. If I say 2, I'm inside plants and minerals. So plants and minerals is, for example, number 6 or number 12. Let's do number 12, which is a bit more distant. Number 12. Then on locations, I will have 1. Well, let's do 11 just for fun. Let's do 11. What is it? And as an NPC, well, yes, no, sorry, let's do 1 because otherwise I will never find it in that map. So I did 1. I think the best will be to do 1, 2, and 3 in this case. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3, but we need to say that 3 is a location, 4 is an NPC, so it will be like this. And then I need another line. And then I need 1 for story and 1 for factions. 1 for story. I think story we only have 1 line. Yeah, so it would be ID 1. And 1 for factions. And factions we can take, I don't know, number 8. Whatever, number 8 randomly. Number 8. Okay, so these are all the pieces that my character knows. Right? It's like if he learned them already. Obviously, at the moment we don't have a way to make him learn stuff, but we will have. But at the moment we're just testing that when we are loading from the database this information. So when I will log in, we will go into character load all discoveries, which I think I already put a breakpoint. Load I don't know. Yes, this one. Yes, I already put a breakpoint. Now here I think we need to do some... okay, so I'm logging in with Melare. Right? This guy, I mean, doesn't really look like Melare, but anyway, is what it is. And I'm clicking on play. Yes, and you can see we are now loading his discoveries, right? And his discoveries are select start from character discovery with character ID equal to whatever. And we see that we have 8 discovery. Yes, and we have 8 discovery. Okay, perfect. Now what we are doing, we are getting the ID, the knowledge type, and the child table. Okay, and then we are splitting. Yes, and then we are splitting like this. So we are going inside, add code is created by ID. Okay, let me see if this does what we want it to do. No, I think we need to improve this because I would like to check if this is returning something. If this is not returning something, we have a big problem because it means that it knows a piece of information that doesn't exist in our database. So let me stop it. So we need to be sure that this actually exists. So this is going to return a PS codex creatures. That is going to return a PS codex creatures, and we can call it just discovery item. Discovery item. We don't care to have a special name. Discovery item. There is a pointer to, yes. So if this is null, we have a problem because it means that he knows something that doesn't exist. And actually, I think we should simulate this on our database. I think I should have one of those which is pointing to an impossible value. So let's do this one. Let's do 12,000, okay, instead of 12. So it's easy to remember. So this one will point to something that doesn't exist. So if the discovery item does not exist, what we want to do, we want to give an error message to the player, or because it will basically, his character cannot be loaded because something got fucked up in the database. So his character cannot be loaded. So I think there is a problem. I think it is a problem. I think we should probably return false at that point. So this one probably should take a boolean and return false in case this is returning false. And our load all discovery will return false, saying that our character cannot be loaded. Yeah, I think so. I think all these ones should become boolean, because actually we have a way to fail. I was not thinking we could, but actually we can't. So all these ones which are 6 will become booleans, and 1 2 3 4 5 6, yes, and all of them here will return true at the end, but we need to do the same check, you know, we need to do the same check. So if this one is returning false, what do we do? We just return false and then we let the calling function manage it. Yes, I think this is what we want to do. So we will just return false, nothing else. So I think this can be as simple as that. Now we need to duplicate it on each of them, and here obviously is different because is this thing, and this thing is returning. Identifier F is undefined. GG Visual Studio. Identifier F is undefined. Look at that, boys. Beautiful. Is returning a codex, plants, and minerals. Okay, and this is good. Then here we do the same. We don't have to do mistakes here, huh? We should not do mistakes. Okay, this one is returning a codex location lock. Okay. Then, because it's easy to mess up with a copy paste, you know? You just type something that makes no sense, but is actually compiling. That is returning a location NPC. Okay. Okay, and this one will return this. And this one is returning what? A codex story. Okay. And then we copy this here. And we take this and we put it. And this one is returning a codex factions. Okay. So it is done. So we are returning false to our discovery manager in case something is not loaded properly. Now we need to, from the discovery manager, decide what to do, right? I think we can have just a simple variable, which is like loading, okay. We start with true, and then we will just set loading okay equal to this, 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 right? Ah, no, fuck. No, because we need to exit from the... No. If I do like this, the second one will override the first one. Well, unless I catch it here, right? Yeah, I need to catch it here. Yes, it's correct. I catch it here. So check if we had any issues with loading. Issues with loading. And the only problem is that if we catch the error here, we will not know what failed. While here, well, we can print it out anyway. We can print it. Yeah, we need to print it out though, because otherwise, I mean, we need to tell. We need at least to have a printout. Yes, we need. Otherwise, we will never be able to detect the error and it's a mess. So we need here to have a printout and say, hey, we failed. So we will go like codex creatures. I think we will go px codex creature. This log is only for us, it's not for the player. PS codex creature. This will be an error, by the way. And this one will be, I would say, just a log temp, which is printed all the time. Error, cannot load discovery ID %d, and then we put the discovery ID, right? So it means that the discovery ID for some reason doesn't exist. So there is a misalignment between the player database and the discovery database. Let me just copy this a million times. I did something bad. And then I will change all the description, okay? So the description, codex creatures, yes. Codex plant and minerals. Codex locations. Codex NPC locations. And codex story. Okay. So at least we will know that something fucked up. And here, when we see that the loading, so if not loading okay, we already printed the error message, so I think we can just return false, and that's it. So we'll stop, please. We will stop the loading and we will just return false. Now I don't know if this one is actually catching, but we can see it. If this one is actually then no. Okay, so we need to have, you know, a check here as well, that if there is false, then we return false, and then from here up I think it's gonna work, because you see we already have all these return false where we are catching that something went wrong in the loading of the player. Give me 1 minute. I'm coming back in 1 minute. 1 minute. Be right back. 1 minute. Be right back. Where do I put it? Here. You see it. 1 minute. forgot to shut down my webcam, but anyway. Fine. So we added all the error checking on the loading of the character, which is very nice. So now we want to test it. So we want to see if we have an invalid value like we added, because we added to the database an invalid value, if my discoveries are actually realizing that I have an invalid value. You want to check that. I want to check that. What time is it? It's 7:27. Fuck, Rinos. Okay. I think we have about half an hour more together, and then I will go. Drum roll. Drum roll. There is still a lot to do, but the foundation is there, and I'm pretty happy the fact that we have this foundation in now. So I think we are making good progress. It's still it's compiling. I'm waiting the compilation. We are making good progress. We are basically here now, testing loading the character with all the error checking. We added a good amount of error checking, so at the moment the code is fairly robust. So if we fuck up with the data, we will know, and we will know exactly what is not working, which is nice. Okay, so the server is starting. We start the client, and we know that we have one bad data in the list, right? We know it. What come after the compendium? I mean, a compendium will take so much time, but I will stop the compendium. I mean, I cannot do the whole compendium now. Otherwise, we will continue for days or for weeks. So I will do a bit of the compendium like I'm doing now. Then I think I may probably go back to pets. And then we need to release the new alpha. I want to release the new alpha maybe next weekend. Right? Maybe next weekend, 27, we can have the next alpha. What next after that? I don't know. But I think at the moment we are bouncing between pets, compendium, and bows, because also bows is not finished, obviously. But we are bouncing between those three tasks, and so I'm doing a piece, and then I'm changing topic just because it's more fun to do it this way. You know, instead of working on one thing for weeks. Also, I think it gives a better view of the people that are watching of different things that we are working on. So I think it's also more interesting for people that are joining. They maybe say they see a different system or a different piece of the game getting developed. But after bow, after compendium, and after pets, I don't know at the moment. I think that we need to seriously think of switching the old game with the new game. I don't know when, but we need to do it. One day we need to do it. We are not too far, so all these pieces are like additional pieces, you know, additional stuff that I do just because they are fun to make. They are fun to make, and also because I want to have something new in the new version. The people will say, ah, the new version has this. You know, the new version has that. Okay, we are logging in as Melare, and we know that we will fail, but we want to check if he's failing properly. So the loading of the creatures seems to be fine. The loading of the plants seems to be broken. Okay, you see that this one it failed, and I assume that is the one that we fucked up. Yes, it's the one that we fucked up. So we got an error that says Codex Plant and Minerals error, cannot load Discovery ID 1. Why Discovery ID 1? No, Discovery ID 1 is definitely not correct, boys, huh? What do you mean Discovery ID 1? What? You stupid or what? Child table ID. How can be child table ID be 1? Are you serious? What? I'm doing something stupid here. There is a mistake. There is a very stupid mistake somewhere. I'm not incrementing X somehow, or what? Maybe the query is wrong? What is going on? Select star from character discovery where character ID equal to me, right? So we are getting as a result this table. We're getting as a result this table. And the first ID, well, yes, the first ID is 1, but did we fail on the first one? Ah, we failed on the first one, actually. Oh, yes, we failed. We failed on the first one, boys. Yes, 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 we failed on the first. I was thinking we were failing here, but actually we failed here. Because knowledge type is 1. Yeah, sorry, but if knowledge type... Ah, fuck me. Fuck me, fuck me, fuck me, fuck me, fuck me, fuck me. I forgot the break, so all the cases are getting executed, one after the other. Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. Okay, easy, easy, easy fix, easy fix. No, I was looking at it and saying, okay, why is going through all of them? And yes, he was going through all of them because if you have a switch, you need a break for each case. The Greater Temple of Talad, I don't know. We need an artist for that. Do you have any artists that can work for me? And help to develop the game? We need a... for the Greater Temple, whatever it is, we need a... we need artists. We don't have enough artists. I also wanted to do the shrines. Ah, yes, the shrines. The shrines maybe can be next. Okay, so here we are preloading. Fine, we don't care about preloading. We care about our client logging in. Shrine. Shrine. Magical shrines. Shrine in French is, what is French? Is tombe? No, it's not this. I don't think it's translated properly. I mean, it's not something that died. It's someone that died. Is a shrine? Is a religious shrine. Religious shrine in French. Ah, sanctuary. Sanctuary is better. Sanctuary is better. Shrines. Okay, we log in, huh? Fuck. Nothing happened. The breakpoint is gone. Ah no, we have the breakpoint. Okay, load all discoveries. Okay, so the first one, let me see, the first one is saying okay. And the second one, which is child table 3. Child table 3, yes. Okay. Is saying okay. Now the third one will fail probably. Yes, this one should fail. And in fact it failed. Okay, nice. And so we are returning an error. Okay, nice. Okay, it's working. At least the check is working. Okay, now we want to log in again, but with good data. With good data. Okay, so we want to load in with this as 12. So we want to be sure that we are not... Oh no, let me see one thing. Let me see what kind of... if the player gets any error. Because I don't know... Does the player gets any error of his character not getting loaded? Let me just run it. No, I mean the player is going into this situation where his character doesn't exist and he cannot move. He can only rotate. Okay. No. Shrine and not crypt. Okay, I think we need to we need to do something with the character not loading. But anyway, on the server, if the character is not loading and he's saying, "Hey, I cannot log in," we actually get a failure, right? Let me see what happens. How is this propagated up? Character. Let me see how we are propagating the error, okay? Because I think we need to fix this as well. I mean, it's a bit stupid that when you log in, if you have an error, you never, you know? At least you should get the error. An error like cannot load, whatever. Character cannot be loaded, something like that. The shrines. A mystery unveiled. Okay, let me see where this thing is going, but I think is so we are returning false, and so this one is returning false, and so this one but this one is returning true anyway. Okay, so we don't manage this case. That's the problem. We don't manage. Wait a second. Request character. Here we are inside PS character load. Ah, no, 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 no. I think we are returning false. Failed to load player data. Okay. So up to here we detect it. The problem is that the player doesn't know. The player has no idea that this happened. No idea really. I think we should tell him. Request character. I think if for any reason this one is failing, we should tell him. The problem is that request character is called by what? It's called, no, I think it's, well, we have the boolean though. Request character. Who is calling this thing? I think it's the blueprints that are calling this. Maybe. Let me just check one thing. I think we... No! I think we have... yeah, I think we have it from the blueprints. So I think that from the blueprints we can immediately tell the player that we have an error. I think it's a good fix. I want to do it now. I want to fix this now. I mean, it's bad that you don't get any message. You don't know what is going on. And then you time out. Basically what happens is that you see the thing empty and then you just time out. And then you try again and it does the same, and so it's pretty bad. So I want to fix it. I want to fix it now. And this will be valid for any other errors because we are you know, sending back this message. So okay, so we have the request character. Yeah, you see, we don't do anything here. With this value, we don't do anything. The problem is this function on server side? Yes, it is on server side. So basically if this one returns false, we need to do something. So if this is false, we need at least to return a message to the, we need to pop up a message to the client. How do we do it? I think we have a send error message, or we have a send no, we should have a send pop-up or something. Send chat message, send more message. No, I think it's on, probably it's on the player control. Where are we? We are in player controller here. I think it's similar to the connection timed out, by the way. It's just that no, wait. How do I send? Because I'm server side. If I was client side, it was a bit easier, but I think I need to check. I think there should be a receive receive because receive message. No, receive message, no. Oh my god, receive is so much. Receive pop-up, no. Receive error. Receive error in loading character. What is this? Something went wrong when loading the character. Yes, this one. Why? I mean, is there already? Is it already? Why we are not why is not connected? That's strange. Who is calling this? Receive error in loading character. Ah, this is an event. Receive error in loading character. Wait a second. Under player controller, eh? Maybe we have it already, but for some other stuff. Receive error. Ah, yes, it's here. Okay, very nice. Very nice. So we have already a function that does exactly what I need. Get pad information. Upload character. Ah, yes, because this one is when you are trying to upload it. Okay, but I think we can call the same. I think we can call exactly the same function. Pre-game. But pre-game request character is exactly the one that we just... What? Request character is exactly the one we were looking at. Request character is exactly the one that we were looking at now. So it should already return false. It should already return false and should already go... Wait a second, I'm getting confused here. So if we return false here... no, we are not calling... No, because this is getting called from somewhere else. This is getting called from somewhere else, unfortunately. Wait. Request character. Yes, you see, it's called by in another place, but it's okay. We can we can call that function here. Receive error in loading client. Okay. Now, receive error in loading character on client. Yes, I think it's good. I think it's what I need. Now, which kind of error we put? Your character cannot be loaded. Contact tech support. Your character cannot be loaded due to what? Because he will be like, why? Why my character cannot be loaded? But I think it's enough because then, I mean, I cannot tell him why because I don't know at that point. Or we send out, we can send out a message now as a mess because it's from so many different places. Okay, let me try to save this and see if now at least it gets an error message. The problem is that what? It needs to go back. So it needs to go back to... No, it's already in the right, it's already in the right place. No, it's already in the right place. I think, no, I think it's good. I think it's good. So, okay, let's try again and see if at least if we get on the client side the error message that your character cannot be loaded. Let's see, my friends. Is something's gonna work or not? Okay. We have the debug, so we will go, yeah. But we will skip it. We will skip the debug. We will skip... right? So we do this, play. And in theory, we should get the message. Yes, your character cannot be loaded. Okay, that is a bit better. At least you don't try to enter the game. You just stop here and you see that the character cannot be loaded. Now, you will be like, why? But the why, unfortunately, I cannot tell you. I mean, you have to contact us and say, hey, he's giving me this message. Why? And it can be for different reasons, like there is a wrong race, wrong traits, wrong characteristic, wrong, I don't know, something went bad in the migration. Okay, I'm happy I did this change, by the way. Okay, so now we have everything loaded and with the right data. Let's do one last test, okay? That we want with the right data, because this 12 is actually a valid value. With the right data, we want to be able to load in, right? Did I stop the server? Yes, why? Okay, I'm loading it again. So with the right data, we want to log in. We want to be able to log in. I think it will work because there is no reason why it should fail in theory. There should be no reason why it fails. Okay. Now we need to remember that we have implemented few new things like the random events, this compendium thing, the new pet. So this stuff require a bit of data and management. Okay, so we log in. Okay, still say the character cannot be loaded, but probably there is something else that is not matching. Yes, it cannot load. It's saying error cannot load discovery ID number 3. Discovery ID number 3. Yeah, but we said that 12 is correct, right? And I saved it, right? Why discovery ID number 3 not correct? So plants and minerals. Plants and minerals. Number 12. Yes, because 3 is a mineral. No, but wait. 3 is a mineral. Yes. No, it's okay. You should be fine. Okay, let's check why. Because actually it should be okay. But for some reason it's not. For some reason, this entry is not okay. Child table 12, owner, okay. So if I go inside of this, discovery item find ref. So he's trying to find a discovery ID 12 on plants and minerals. And we have it because it's here. We have it. So this one should return a valid value. Yes, it does. It returns a valid value. So why is then failing? If this is returning true. Yes, exactly. So it's failing on something else then. This is returning true. This is returning true. What the fuck is failing on then? This is returning false. Okay. Discovery ID number 3 on... discovery ID number 3 means this one. Okay. This one, sorry. Child table. So I think we need to improve a bit the messaging. Okay, boys. I think I'm gonna go... but anyway, we are very close. I think it's pretty much working. There is just a bit of debug to do here. I think I'm gonna go... I'm gonna go for dinner. And I don't know if I will see you. Thank you, Al. I don't know if I will see you after dinner or not. Depends a bit, but probably not. I think we will see each other tomorrow, okay? And then we will continue to work on this thing. Tomorrow evening, I will be here. But we made a very good progress. So a lot of stuff has been done, which I'm happy about. So we basically green marked all the pieces that were still to be completed, and basically now we are here and we are super close. I think that this one will be easy to finish, and then we can go. The next step would be to design the user interface. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Have a good dinner as well, and bye bye. I probably am gonna work on this in the evening a bit, but not too much. So I think I'm gonna work probably on it a bit. I will just finish this piece, just to be sure that it is fully completed. So tomorrow we can start with the user interface. Bye bye. See you soon, boys. What about clicking on follow and subscribing on YouTube, or checking the Patreon site, which is patreon.com/plancher.